Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programas offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nabízejí více jazyků. Prosím navštivte suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Not only do we rescue animals from places of abuse, but we also work on legislation to end the abuse at its roots. Because for us, it's not simply good enough to put a Band-Aid on the situation by rescuing. We want to stop it.
Supreme Master Ching Hai presents the Shining World Compassion Award to Animal Rescue Media and Education, plus a $10,000 contribution. With high salute and thankfulness, may all involved be immensely blessed. Continue watching to learn more.
Lofty viewers, Bari Kalust, this means welcome in Armenian, a primary language of Nagorno-Karabakh in Azerbaijan. I am Yusuf. The harmonious people of Nagorno-Karabakh are overjoyed by your wise and loving deeds around the world.
Everywhere in the world, we can observe and be touched by acts of kindness. People from all walks of life, faiths, and cultures extend themselves beyond the call of duty to help others unconditionally. Even loving, caring animals contribute also in this noble category. Through their noble deeds, humanity as a whole is elevated. To commend virtuous actions and encourage more people to be inspired by their examples, Supreme Master Ching Hai has lovingly curated a series of awards, including the Shining World Leadership Award, Shining World Compassion Award, Shining World Hero and Heroine Awards, Shining World Honesty Award, Shining World Protection Award, Shining World Intelligence Award, and Shining World Invention Award, etc. These awards are to recognize some of the most exemplary, generous, caring, and courageous people who walk amongst us, as well as heroic, beautiful animal co-inhabitants whose acts are worthy of praises and gratitude.
In our 2-episode show, Acts of Compassion Beget Acts of Heroic Love, we are honored to present Shining World Compassion Award recipients Animal Rescue Media and Education and a Shining World Hero Award recipient Chi-Chi the Golden Retriever. On today's show, we feature a Shining World Compassion Award recipient Animal Rescue Media and Education, or ARMY. We were privileged to have an exclusive interview with Ms. Shannon Keith, founder and president of ARMY.
We're active all across the United States and internationally. We rescue animals from places of abuse, mostly from animal testing facilities. However, we've also expanded our mission to include other forms of unique captivity and abuse. So we also rescue animals in China, and Korea from the meat trade, and any type of animal who has special needs that we can save. For example, very old hospice dogs who are on death row in the local city shelters, or animals who are paralyzed. We will never say no.
Founded in 2004, the California-based non-profit animal welfare organization ARMY and their associated action group, the P1o Freedom Project, are compassionate all-vegan heroes who save and protect animals from test laboratories. The inspiring organization has also developed an innovative and robust advocating program with the goal of removing institutional cruelty through legal action and different social media. Founder and President Shannon Keith, a recipient of the Shining World Compassion Award in 2010, is a courageous voice of justice defending our poor, helpless animal friends. Ms. Keith shares with us the story of how ARMY and P1o Freedom Project came into being.
I started ARMY, Animal Rescue, Media, and Education, in 2004, and there's a few reasons why I started it. I'm an animal rights attorney. I'm defending dogs who are accused of being vicious or dangerous, much like a criminal defense attorney. And the problem in Los Angeles County is that the judges simply want to put the dogs down, period. So I had suggested to several judges, well, what if they went to a rescue? And judges said that that was okay, but I could not get anybody to take them. So one of the reasons I started ARMY was to start my own rescue so I could just take those dogs. And the interesting part is, of course, they weren't dangerous or vicious. It had to do with the people who had them and how they were being treated. It was doing rescue and outreach and starting to make documentary films about all forms of animal exploitation. I did my first documentary, Behind the Mask, about people who break the law to save animals and what happens. And my second, Skin Trade, which was an expose on the fur industry that Supreme Master Qinghai knows all about, because you gave me a wonderful award for it and donation for it. And working on our third documentary called Sanctuary about primates in captivity.
Kind-hearted viewers, we are going to take a moment to pray for our vegan world. When we come back, we'll learn more about how the P1o Freedom Project was formed. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our program. We continue with our interview with Miss Shannon Keith and the story of how the P1o Freedom Project began.
What ended up happening in about 2010 was I got a phone call about some beagles in a laboratory who the laboratory was about to kill because they were about to go on Christmas vacation and they didn't want to pay workers overtime to care for them. So at first I was like, we can get animals out of a laboratory? Like, I never thought that was possible. It's my dream. And we only had a very short period of time to go get these dogs. And I dropped everything, went and got them. and rescued our first 2 beagles, Freedom and Bigsby. And, during that process, I was like fantasizing about what it's going to be like when I open the cages. They're going to be so happy.
Shannon explained there are more than 80,000 dogs and cats being used in experiments for cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, household products, and other research in US laboratories. Sadly, nearly 96% of the dogs used for experiments are beagles. Many of the animals are tested on until they are no longer useful and are put to death. In our modern times, there are many humane and more advanced alternatives to the cruel, outdated practices. Shannon and the Beagle Freedom Project endeavor to educate the public and raise awareness about the unnecessary animal exploitation. Shannon describes the heart-wrenching situation of animals kept in captivity for research.
They've never been outside. They've never seen freedom. And the really sad part is that they weren't excited or happy. They were so scared because they had never been outdoors their entire lives. Their eyes were squinting from the sun because it hurt to look at the sun. I had the crate doors open for a good 20 minutes before the first beagle took his first step outside. And he was so scared, he touched the grass and then lifted his paw. And then he went over to the other beagle and touched his nose. And that gave the other beagle confidence. And then he came out of his crate. And they both started walking slowly and falling because they weren't used to walking and they had no muscle tone. But after a while, they started walking and running and playing and doing zoomies. And when I brought them home, I realized, wow, there's so much to tell here. And what a great way to educate the public through the rescues of these animals. And I just formed Beagle Freedom Project kind of on the spot as a mission of Army. The Beagle Freedom Project blew up. So Beagle Freedom Project, not only do we rescue animals from places of abuse, but we also work on legislation to end the abuse at its roots. Because for us, it's not simply good enough to put a Band-Aid on the situation by rescuing. We want to stop it. Of course, we're rescuing during the process, and it's a great way to educate people through ambassadors. But legislation is really the way to end things once and for all.
The Beagle Freedom Project has achieved noteworthy successes. A Beagle Freedom Law, known as Right to Release, is now in place in 11 US states. It mandates laboratories and facilities to release animals to rescue organizations for adoption after the tests, instead of putting them to death. They also introduced the California Pet Blood Bank Modernization Act, which aims to free caged blood donor animals. This bill is known as Lennon's Law, named after a canine friend rescued through Army. Over the years, Shannon and her team have extended their rescue missions to include all abused animals.
My first memories was going to Sacramento, lobbying for our Beagle Freedom Bill in California. And it was amazing to go there and be part of this revolution for these animals. And then shortly after, we rescued 5 beagles from Korea, and we flew them over here to the US. So for me, that's the most memorable because that was my first time seeing a cage door open for an animal that had been living their entire lives in a laboratory. And there was this amazing dog. His name was Lennon. He's my favorite. And he was very, very shy. He would hide under the bushes, and I sat with him and I pet him and I let him know, I'm like, you're safe. Nobody's ever going to hurt you anymore. You can trust us. Like, from here on out, it's going to be a great life. And that, for me, that was really, really memorable. Because every single one of them and every single rescue that we go to, I make sure to tell the dogs, I'm like, look, it's okay now. No more harm. We're going to love you. We're going to spoil you, if anything. And it's a family-like experience here.
Thank you, Animal Rescue Media and Education. Your compassionate endeavors are transforming our world into a loving paradise for all. For more information about Animal Rescue Media and Education and the Beagle Freedom Project, please visit bfp.org. Intelligent viewers, thank you for your company today. We hope you have enjoyed our program. Please tune in next Wednesday, May 27th, for part 2 of Acts of Compassion Beget Acts of Heroic Love. Up next is Remember Your True Nature, Live Like a Saint, part 5 of 5, on Between Master and Disciples, right after Know to Us the News. May the Providence always bless you on your righteous path.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/SWA.